Dr. Ravi Kamepali and other participants. So, shall I share my screen?
Yeah, please.
Okay.
Right. Untitled Chapter.
So, thank you everyone here. I'm really honored to speak here in the India Podiatry Association, and it's very interesting stream podiatry where I'm working with Dr. A.P.S. Suri and Dr. Shailesh and other physios and learning new things. And so my topic today is podiatry in sports injuries. So far, like being a sports physio, I've already been like involved with various injuries, but foot mechanism has its own role, and if we work on it, we can really prevent sports injuries at the initial level. Like when we work up to the trainings level for the kids, then we can, if we examine their foot also, if we evaluate, then we can really work and we can improve and add up their performance from early childhood itself. So, what are sports injuries? It refers to the kind of injuries that mostly occur during the sports or during the training or exercises. It may result from the accidents, while others are basically due to poor training practices, improper equipments, lack of conditioning, insufficient warm-up, stretching, and foot biomechanics. So, where you can see the most of the injuries, it included in the musculoskeletal system, which includes your muscles, bones, ligaments, and your tissue like cartilage. So we can see that the common injuries are basically in sports are normal stress and strain and sprains in the normal training periods, and your ankles, knees are affected more. So, as Dr. Dhara has already explained about the foot functions, so just take up quickly that what it does, it supports your body weight, it provides the balance, it acts as a shock absorber, it transfers the ground reaction forces, and it also compensates for the proximal misalignments. So, this is the ankle joint, which is made up of osseous bone. And the bones, the ankle and below the foot includes the hindfoot, midfoot, and forefoot. And so if we come across the muscles, there are ankle and foot muscles, which is divided into extrinsic muscles and extrinsic and intrinsic. So in extrinsic, there are posterior compartment, lateral compartment, and interior compartment. So, what are the risk factors when our foot biomechanics is altered? What can be the injuries? So, it may be due to the intrinsic abnormalities, it can be due to extrinsic, or maybe due to sports imposed deficiencies. So, basically, in the intrinsic abnormalities, it happens due to the malalignment of the body parts, instability of your joints, your muscle strength imbalance, weakness in the muscles, inflexibility. And the examples, if you take up the foot morphology, then the high arch, like the pes cavus with the flat feet, pes planus with the moderate wrists, which can include the IT band inflexibility, which is called as ITB syndrome, which is very common sports injury among the players. And due to this altered foot mechanics, there is a genu valgus also, which is higher risk for patellofemoral syndrome. So there are various muscles which are protecting the various ankle functions and the dorsiflexion, plantar flexion, medial aspect, the lateral aspect. So there are the three arches: anterior, transverse arch, lateral longitudinal arch, the medial longitudinal arch, and they have various functions because they serve basically two main functions, which is mobility and stability. So first, the foot must accept the weight during the early stance phase and adapt to various surfaces shapes. And to accomplish the mobility function, the plantar arch must be flexible enough to allow the feet to dampen the impact of weight-bearing forces, superimpose the rotational motions, adapt to the changes in the supporting surfaces, and for the stability functions, the arches must all distribute the weight throughout the foot for proper weight bearing and conversion of the flexible foot to a rigid ligger. Like we have seen in various sports like table tennis, kho and lawn tennis players and footballers, that there is a quick motion of their foot. They have to kick, they have to, in kho they have to do the rotational movements. In tennis, they have to do a lot of agility and speed workout. So your foot plays very important role. If your arches are not supporting you well, then you may have risk for the sports injuries. So as we have already seen that there are these are the types of the feet, like your normal flat feet and high arch feet. So there are various muscular contribution to the arches which really makes the muscle to work proper, and muscular support is provided to the medial longitudinal arch during the gait, which is very important, by the tibialis posterior. And there are other muscles also which plays important role in the lateral stability, which is the peroneus longus. And as I come to know post injury, so posture and gait analysis is very, very crucial, because the center of gravity, it only assigns the feet alignment, that what kind of injuries, whether it is on the medial or on the lateral side, what kind of gait you have. So it affects your posture and gait. So this is the flat feet, where you can see this is a high arch. And when you have a flat feet, so it can cause you can see the knee is in the valgus position, which may lead to the shin split also, and it can add up to the stress to the knee, which can lead to the patellofemoral syndrome also, and MTSS also, medial tibial stress syndrome, which is a common sports injury among the players. The another thing is what we face is the heel pain. Like most of the players complains of the heel pain. So the reason can be various, like Achilles pain, heel spur, plantar fasciitis. There can be nerve entrapment also. So we need to rule out the heel pain also, and how we can correct it. So these are the pronated and supinated foot, which really affects your posture and gait also. So here we discuss that why Q angle is very important. Why? Because it is the indicator of the biomechanical functions in the lower extremity, and its measurements also reflects the effect of quadriceps mechanism on the knee. So when we assess it correctly, it supplies very useful information concerning the alignment of the pelvis, leg and foot. So these are the normal the degrees, like it falls between 18 to 22 degree. Males are usually at the lower end of this range, and female, because of the wider pelvis, tends to have higher measurements. So how you measure it? The Q angle is the angle which is formed by the line drawn from the anterior superior iliac spine to the center of patella, and second line is drawn from the center of patella to the tibial tubercle. So the angle formed by these two lines is called as Q angle. And here you can see the deformity. This is the normal, where the angle is just less than 15 degree, and if it is more than 20, then it is a north, which is a valgus knee, and if it is less than 10, then this is a bow leg, which is varus knee. So due to this effect of the foot, the common injury what we can see is ACL, which is anterior cruciate ligament injury, because when the player, like the tennis player or the kho player or kabaddi player, when they twist their knee, because they have a lot of rotation, they have a lot of speed and agility, and they have to coordinate their muscle very fast. So in these cases, these ACL injuries are very common if your foot mechanics, biomechanics is not working properly. So what are the other examples of nerve injuries, which is overuse injuries, is the tarsal tunnel syndrome. It is also very common injury which we can see in sports person, and it happens due to the hyperpronation or maybe due to the overtraining ganglions. So what is this? Tarsal tunnel syndrome is nothing but it is a compression or squeezing on the posterior tibial nerve that produces these symptoms anywhere along the path of nerve, which runs inside of your ankle into the foot, which is a very narrow passage. So it may get compressed due to the repeated pressures, like repeated landing when you are doing some hard trainings, or even in your daily routine training practices. So there, the common other injuries is the Achilles tendon. The rupture may occur maybe due to the sprain. First sprain has happened, and if you have ignored, then there can be a rupture also if it gets ignored. So Achilles tendonitis, it is basically seen in runners and jumpers athletes. The micro tears from the repetitive impact loading. And what are the risk factors? It is due to overuse of your muscles, your age factor, your poor shoe wear, and training errors also affect your Achilles tendon. So other injury ligament is ligament overuse injury is plantar fasciitis. This is very common injury which we see in our peers, which may occur due to the Achilles inflexibility, due to pus cavus or planus, hyperpronation, worn out running shoes, leg length discrepancy, overtraining, and intrinsic foot muscle weakness. So here we come to know that why injury prevention is so important. It is important. Why? Because the gait analysis, another important component is gait analysis, which has you can say the stance phase, which includes the heel strike, mid stance, and propulsion, and another is swing phase. So it comprises the 60% to 40% of your total gait analysis. This is very important because you can judge the plantar pressures, like already Dr. Dhara has told in detail that how you have to measure those via pedo scan and foot scanners or the treadmill methods. So we need to rule out these. So excessive plantar pressures, what they do? They do the they can contribute to the pain and injury, and in otherwise in healthy people also they contribute to the skin breakdown in patients with diabetes and peripheral neuropathy. So pressure under the first metatarsal head also increases the arch height, and as one might expect, the soft tissue under the forefoot and the heel act as a cushion. So these soft tissues are also affected, and the tissue thickness may decreases due to the increase in pressure. So the greatest stress to the heel during the walk occur at the heel strike. So that's why the gait analysis is very important. And it depends, if your foot function is normal, the foot functionality is normal, then you can prevent your sports injury. So here we conclude that the postural stability is also affected by the foot position, because this is your foot, knee, and hip, and even the lower back, which are affected by your posture of foot. So you can say in the closed chain, which is a static dynamic, in the static assessment, you can see this is a valgus knee, which is the calcaneal eversion, adduction and plantar flexion of talus, medial rotation of talus and tibia and fibula. So valgus at the knee joint. Similarly, in the closed chain movement, it is a calcanean inversion which has led to the varus at the knee, which may lead to various sports injury risk factors. So what we all can do to prevent these sports injuries, we have already seen that orthotics plays a very important role. We can customize the footwear, we can provide them the good running shoes, good training shoes as well. If they will wear customized shoe, then definitely they can add up to their performance in their sports. So ankle evaluation is very important when it comes to the physical therapist. We just need to rule out not only the treatment but the prevention. So here we have to evaluate the gait, the range of motion, foot assessments, strength, swelling, pain. And after the thorough evaluation, we need to provide the treatment with corrective training methods and use of some modalities, electrical stimulation, and of course the orthotics and insoles should be given to correct the foot arches to minimize the plantar pressures. So the methods to prevent and treat sports injuries are evaluation of foot, gait analysis, PRP methods to treat injuries, shockwave therapy.
If you can stop your screen sharing there, Vandana.
Yes.
Good presentation. Yeah. Thank you very much. And